In 2013, John and his wife, Ann Mansour, turned an unimaginable loss into purpose. After John and Ann lost two of their children, Alexander and Gabrielle, in a tragic boating accident, they received never-ending support from their Chaldean seminarians and church. This love and support and faith has helped carry them through this tragedy, moving them to so much they created and the Stride for Seminarians Memorial Walk to keep the kids' memories alive. Well, unfortunately and sadly, my friend John Mansour passed away. And to continue this beautiful memory of his children, and for him is his brother Steve Mansour, who will now leading the Stride for Seminarian Walk coming up this September. Steve, how are you? And welcome to Epiphany.
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
And God bless you for taking this over for your brother. He is greatly missed.
Yes, he is.
And I'm gonna try, Steve, not to cry. I love John. I really do. I love John. He's just a good man. And so give our listeners an overview. I kind of started sharing the story, but just to remind our listeners, we've had John on many times and John and Ann on many times in the past, but give our listeners an overview of how Stride for Seminarians came to be.
You know, it came to be because of a tragedy, unfortunately, and back in 2013, John and Ann lost their two children to a tragic boating accident. And days, if not weeks, following that incident, there was young men in the seminary within the Chaldean church that came to the hospital and prayed with them practically every day, I would say for months. And after that, John felt obligated to do something that helped them, and we chatted about putting something on, and Stride for Seminarians pretty much came about because of that. So we met with the church January of 2014 to formulate this walk, and through getting many people that loved my brother and were involved in the church, became volunteers, and we strategically planned this event for September 2014, which was the first year. And the whole premise behind it was obviously to raise funds for the seminarians, because currently right now it's about $45,000 a year annually for them to go to school. And through this walk, we've been able to contribute over $1 million so far since its inception in 2014, and it's an event that is near and dear to our heart because the church, the seminarians, the bishop, they're right next to our sides when this happened, and without them, we're not sure where our family would be.
Mm-hmm. So, Steve, John has a couple of brothers. You and Marvin and I went to college together. John has since passed away. Tell us what it's been like for your family since then in taking over this annual fundraiser in honor of his children and now of him.
I've had my moments. It's difficult because we always kind of leaned on him. We felt like, obviously, because of his experience and what he went through, somebody that would look at him and say, he's the strongest man I know, because I don't know if I could be able to handle, what he went through. And, but he's pretty much, I feel like he's right next to me because, I started doing some outreach to previous sponsors that have contributed over the years, starting this past January. And everybody that I've reached out to have, are on board again. And all they can say is, what John has meant to them and how they've enjoyed the walk. And they're looking forward to this year, which obviously, it's going to be a little difficult because, he's not going to be here.
Mm-hmm. So the Stride for Seminarian Walk is taking place September 20th, 2026 of this year. Stride for Seminarians. It's a beautiful walk. I love it. My husband and I, my daughter, have done it several times. It's a beautiful day at the Detroit Zoo. You get to stay and enjoy the zoo if you wanted to. It's a fun, energizing crowd. All are welcome, Steve, anybody listening. So how can we support your effort? How can people get involved? They walk, they sponsor you. Tell us about how we can get involved.
It's pretty much just spreading the word. I mean, we typically average anywhere between, I believe, 1,000 to 1,500 people. If anybody, has the ability just to spread the word about the event, if they want to get involved, or just register for the walk, or even involve from a sponsorship level, they can just visit the website alexandgabby.com. Or visit any of our social channels, which is pretty much just Alex and Gabby. And you can either send us a DM or visit the website and either register to be a volunteer, register to be a walker, or if you feel like you want to get involved for the sponsorship level, you can do that as well through the website. Early bird registration starts June 1st, and that runs through June 30th. And there is a $10 discount that's applied to anybody that registers within that time frame. To guarantee a T-shirt, you just have to register by August 20th, and that basically, that the registration fee includes a T-shirt, obviously all day at the zoo, breakfast, snacks, as well as lunch, and then we do have mass as well in the pavilion after the walk.
Yeah, I love it. The mass is beautiful. And Steve, since the inception of it in 2014, many of those seminarians who were visiting your family, John's family, during that tragic time, are now priests and very involved in Strides for Seminarians. Can you tell us a little bit about that, continuing that relationship with them over the years?
Well, I think, when John and Ann met them, when they came to the hospital, these were young men at the time, and they kind of just looked up at John and Ann as like their parents as well, and they built a bond and friendship that's lasted since that time. And when we see them, not only are they men of God, but they're part of our family because we know them from a personal level, as well as everything that they've done, going through their experience from being a seminarian to priesthood, to helping, our family and then helping other family as well. And they've kind of put their spin on it. Each one has their funny personality. So, we just enjoy being around them.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It is now truly a family, right? A true family with all of you. You're also a business owner. You're a father, a husband. What has this meant to you in the work that you do and everything that you do, just being part of it yourself? I know John's your brother. These were your nieces and nephews, but even your perspective as a husband, as a father, as a business owner, and being part of this community event for the greater good and really for the glory of God.
Yeah. Nobody would ever think that something could happen to a family with young children, and obviously I was there, I experienced it, but after getting married and having my own children, I look at the whole big picture of what has occurred, and I can't believe it, but it puts everything in perspective. Obviously with life, I think most people just need to realize, every single day when you wake up, just appreciate waking up, appreciate doing the little things. Some people can't do anything. They're either stuck or they're dealing with tragedy or they're dealing with the disease. In my brother's case, unfortunately, everything that he did since he lost his kids was not only for him to keep going, but he contributed a lot to the community, and he helped many families that were dealing with things that I wouldn't say comparable to what he experienced, but close enough because, he started a group as well, Grieving for Hope, and it helped families or individuals that have lost a loved one kind of just meet and discuss how they feel. And, he's done a lot, and I'm involved in that now just because obviously it's been a little tough losing his children and then now losing him as a brother and somebody I looked up to. So, again, life is fragile, and all I can tell everybody is just enjoy every single day. Don't hold a grudge, and
just
be happy.
Steve, I just want to switch gears a little bit because you are a successful businessman and there's young people coming up, and we have a segment called Faith at Work Friday. I realize this is Wednesday, but we like to talk to people about bringing their faith to work with them. And you and your family have done it in so many amazing ways. But just from a business perspective, tell our listeners about your business. What do you do, and how do you bring your Catholic faith, your Christian faith, to work with you every day?
So I own a company called Inc. Detroit. We're a Detroit brand. We wholesale our product to about 60 retail stores. We also offer printing and embroidery and fulfillment services. And that's kind of just kind of a sliver of what we do. And I've been doing it for 21 years, and I kind of grew up in the business as well. My family comes from the retail manufacturing background, and as far as what this has done and bringing my faith to work is it just gives me a big perspective on just staying focused, not allowing things to hold you down, and that every single day is a new day, and you have to, put everything in perspective. Now, business, obviously, we all have to make money, but,
that's why you're in business.
Yes. But the key thing is obviously enjoying what you do on a daily basis, and I enjoy what I do, so that helps me get through my day, and that's it.
You guys have been in the clothing business for a long time. I met your brother back in college where we would pull all-nighters together, believe me, drinking lots of coffee. Sure. I did at Wayne State. And but you guys have been in the clothing business for a long time. And so
my dad and my uncle started a company called Donna Sachs back in 1976. And prior to that year, my uncle was had a little leather boutique in downtown Rochester, and my dad was a mechanical engineer, and Fairlane Mall was being built at that time, and there was no leather specialty boutique stores that existed in any of the local malls. And my uncle approached my dad, and they opened up their first store at that time, and they were able to pretty much expand that business from that time through the 90s. At one point, they had almost 20 stores, and things evolved over the time. It's not what it used to be as far as the leather trend. At one point, it was leather blazers and leather pants, and then pivoted to furs and then more Western style. And obviously, trends change, so you have to kind of evolve and,
That's part of being a business owner. You have to understand where the society's going. Steve Mansour is with us here today, the brother of John Mansour. You all know John. He's been on Epiphany many times. He has since passed away. We miss him. We love him. Now rejoined with his beautiful children, Alexander and Gabrielle. Stride for Seminarians coming up in memory of Alexander, Gabrielle, and John Mansour. It's in September 20th of this year at the Detroit Zoo. Give out the website, Steve. How can we register?
So if you just go to alexandgabby.com, and there's going to be a register tab. Now the website, the registration, even though I mentioned June 1 to June 30th is early bird registration, it is live now. So if anybody just visits the website and decides they want to register for the walk, you can just go ahead and do that right now. Again, alexandgabby.com. And if you have any questions, you can always find us on either Instagram or Facebook at Alex and Gabby, and send us a direct message. If you have any questions pertaining to the sponsorships, if you want to get involved on that end, again, you can go to the website, or I can give you my email address, and you can always contact me directly, and it's just steve.mansour77@gmail.com. And I can share pretty much the different sponsorship levels and kind of guide you through it, and hopefully whoever is listening, if you're interested in participating from a volunteer standpoint, you can do that through the website. And I look forward to one of the most successful walks we've had this year in honor of Alex, Gabby, and John.
And we're going to put, Steve, all that information up in the archive section of Epiphany at AveMariaRadio.net. Links to the website, links to your email, all that information, the flyer itself. So people listening, it's going to be easily accessible to them there on our website at AveMariaRadio.net. And again, I just want to reiterate the value and the purpose of this Stride for Seminarian, not only, of course, in memory of these three wonderful people, but it does support our seminarians at Sacred Heart Major Seminary, costing $45,000 a year annually to educate them, for them to study. So it's not cheap. But it's so important, but it's important. We need our priests. So, and thank God, our Chaldeans, we have like 13 seminarians. So God bless you and John and Ann and the whole family for Stride for Seminarians and putting these men through the seminary. So God bless you, Steve, and all that you do. I'll of course see you at the walk, but let's have you back on as we get closer to the walk. Maybe we can have one of the priests on with you too and talk about their involvement and somebody who's maybe it's been sponsoring you since the inception, and we'll share with our listeners the value of that too. Thank you, Steve. God bless you and all that you do.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Steve Mansour here with us on Epiphany. Again, the brother of John Mansour. John and Ann tragically lost two of their children in a boating accident. And since then, they started Stride for Seminarians in 2014. It's an annual walk at the Detroit Zoo, raising money for seminarians at Sacred Heart Major Seminary, costing about $45,000 a year. For a seminarian's education and their ability to study at the seminary. The walk is September 20th at the Detroit Zoo. It is a lot of fun, I have to tell you. My husband, my daughter, and I, we've been several times. It is a lot of fun. We love it. There's breakfast, there's the walk, there's a full mass in the pavilion. You meet all kinds of people. It's a lot of fun. So you can go to alexandgabby.com and register. Again, we'll put all this information up in the archive section at Epiphany at AveMariaRadio.net. That's AveMariaRadio.net. We'll put the links to the website, the flyer, Steve's email, all that wonderful information so you can reach out to him. Thank you to Steve Mansour for being with us here today on Epiphany, talking with us about the annual Stride for Seminarians. Again, in 2013, John and his wife, Ann Mansour, turned an unimaginable loss into purpose. After John and Ann lost two of their three children, Alexander and Gabrielle, in a tragic boating accident, they received never-ending support from the Chaldean seminarians and the church. This love and support and faith has helped them carried them through this tragedy, moving them so much that they created the Stride for Seminarians Memorial Walk to keep their kids' memories alive. What started out as a tribute became a movement. In 2014, the community has helped raise more than $1 million to support the education of future priests in the Chaldean community through the efforts of this walk. It costs about $45,000 annually for each seminarian to study, and all the past support has helped tremendously. The family, the community, lost John September 17th of last year in 2025. After his courageous battle with cancer. John's brother Steve just was with us, honored to continue this meaningful work on his and his family's behalf in memory of Alexander, Gabrielle, and John. The Mansour family is currently looking for individual and business sponsors to support this year's walk. You can reach out to Steve Mansour77 at gmail.com. The event is September 20th at the Detroit Zoo. And again, we'll put all this information up in the archive section of Epiphany at AveMariaRadio.net. All this information will be up there with you. And it is a fun walk. I truly enjoy attending every year. Ronnie and I and Elena have gone. They have 1,000 to 1,500 people. There is breakfast, there's lunch, there's mass, there's face painting, activities for the kids. It's a lot of fun. It's a great community event at the Detroit Zoo.